Hi guys, good morning and welcome back again. Yesterday we did direct and indirect speech. And to continue with that, I will first quickly revise what we learned in our last lesson, which I couldn't complete it, and then we will move forward. So, just a quick recap of what we studied about direct and indirect speech. So, what is direct speech? What is direct speech?
Reporting something, miss.
Yes.
Something that is said by the speaker.
The speaker. Yeah.
The exact or the actual words of spoken. Okay. Uh, Now there are two ways to report something. One is direct speech, which where we use the actual words of the speaker. And for example, I like ice creams. I said I'm going to continue with English class. So when you report to someone or you tell somebody, then you are using my actual words. That is called direct speech. So in our day-to-day conversation, when we talk, usually when we have conversations, so a lot of things we use direct speech. But when you tell the same thing, when you narrate the same thing, then you change it into indirect speech and then you put them to address to somebody. So for example, uh, as I said, that there are certain rules that we need to learn before we get used to and with using the language properly without making any mistake. So there are certain rules of direct and indirect speech. Now in direct speech, we always use, what do we use always? I told you yesterday. Let me see if anybody remembers what.
Quotation mark. Quotation mark.
Quotation mark.
And what?
Quotation mark.
Excellent. And what is the other word for quotation mark?
Speech.
Speech
Marks.
signs. Speech signs. Exactly. Speech marks. So direct words, the actual word, which is called the reported speech, uh, the actual words of the speaker are always enclosed in quotation marks or speech marks. And if and there is a reported verb. So reported verb like he said, she said, my mom said, the dad said, or something. Somebody, the one who's the speaker. Along with that, we have a reported verb: said, told, asked, says, tells, explained, instructed. These are all reported verbs. Now, uh, let's remember that when we use the speech marks, we have to also remember two simple rules. One is that when the speaker name comes in the beginning of the sentence, the comma separates the reported verb along with the reported speech. So this comma is outside the quotation mark. When the speaker's name comes in the end of the sentence, then the comma or the separator that separates the reported verb from the reported speech goes inside the quotation marks. Remember these two important rules. So I'll share my whiteboard and quickly refresh you some of the examples that we did yesterday, just for you to understand and see that how much you understand. Because direct and indirect speech is not that easy, but as a beginner, if we learn certain rules, it helps us and guides us to become more and more better. Of course, when you use the language, we try to do away with the rules. Rules help us, but we don't speak the language with them. So we can, when we practice with rules, that helps us to identify that when you are changing a direct speech to an indirect speech, because you use that very often and it is used all over. So I will share my whiteboard and recap what we studied last time. Okay, so Antonio, read. Antonio, can you please read what is written on the whiteboard?
Yep.
Is she lagging
Yeah.
you guys? Okay.
Antonio, can you read, please?
All of them
Yes.
until direct and indirect speech.
You start reading. I will tell you when I need to ask you to stop.
Okay. Two ways of saying what someone said. Direct speech, the exact word or actual words of the speaker. The exact words of the speaker are enclosed in quotation or speech marks. Example, John said, I like ice cream. Mary said, I am wearing a red skirt. The teacher said, I like French fries. Father told me I have an important meeting next week. She said, I live in Bali. She says, I am a little bit nervous. Direct speech, we keep the tense same as it is enclosed in the quotation mark.
Very good. So, although we have already covered this, but just for a recap, you notice, what do you notice over here is certain things. One is that we use quotation marks. The Mary said, this is out, this is in the beginning of the sentence. The sentence is starting with this, so the comma is outside the quotation mark. And when the sentence comes in the, when Mary's, you can also rephrase this sentence as, I am wearing, speech marks, I am wearing a red skirt. And now you will put the comma inside and close speech marks. Mary said. So here you need to be mindful of that, how to use the quotation marks and the punctuation. Okay, when it comes in the when the speaker's name or the reported word. Now another thing to be important, which is very important over here in direct and indirect speech, is your reported verb. So in this sentence, said is the reported verb. And what is the verb that we are using over here? The in the reported speech, am wearing. Okay, am wearing. There is a verb as am, which is a helping verb, and wearing is a showing. The sentence is of present continuous. Present continuous means the action is is showing a continuity. Okay, I'm wearing a red skirt because you have the ing. Okay, now similarly, you will notice that in these sentences, yeah, the the you can write the in both the ways. Like, I like French fries, said the teacher. I have an important meeting next week, told my father, or my father told me. I live in Bali, Indonesia, said she. She says. Now this sentence is in present tense. Here the reported verb is in present. In all others, you will see reported verb is in the past. This is all in the past. This is RV is all in the past. So we have to notice few things before we come to the rules for changing them into indirect speech. Now, moving on to indirect speech.
Ma'am,
Yes.
for the Mary said, I am wearing a red skirt. Why is the verb, not the wearing?
It is. Both are verbs. Am is the auxiliary of the helping verb, and wearing is uh, and action, showing an action in present continuous. Continuous means action is not finished. Wearing means you are wearing something. Okay, so it shows
Okay.
that. Okay, so yes. Now, can you see the screen? Or I need to switch to the another whiteboard. Sorry. I'll stop. So let me continue with what I was explaining. And so, Rajendra, start reading indirect speech.
Indirect speech or reported speech. We use indirect speech for reporting the words spoken by someone. When you tell what someone told you, while reporting others' exact words, we make three important changes. Number one, change in pronoun. Number two, change the tense. Number three, change time and place expression. Rule 1. Words of speaker or reported speech is not enclosed in quotation marks.
Yes, you can stop there. Okay, so while changing from direct to indirect speech, we make a few modifications, and there are certain rules that we need to follow. So first rule is that indirect speech is never enclosed in quotation marks. That means the quotation marks are removed while changing it from direct to indirect. Only in direct speech you will see the quotation marks. In indirect speech we don't use it. Okay, because we are narrating the words, not the actual words. Quotation marks are used for somebody's original thoughts or actual words, exact words. But when we are changing it to indirect, we can do away with that. Now, second thing is rule number 2. Continue, Rajendra.
Rule number 2. We use that in place of comma, formal use. He said, I write a letter. He said that he wrote a letter.
Thank you. Okay, so we when we are changing from direct to indirect, the comma that we in place of comma, the comma goes away, and in place of comma you replace the comma with that. Now let me clarify over here what do I mean by sometimes you can ignore that when you are using it informally. For example, when you know a person and you are telling something, then you can remove that. But otherwise, you can, in place of comma, we use that. Comma is replaced with that. Now, for instance, he said, I write a letter. When you change it to indirect, he said that he wrote a letter, or another thing that what other you can write over here? What else can you write other than he said that he wrote a letter? Sorry. What else can you write? I just now explained you how to ignore the comma. He said he wrote a letter. Both are correct because here I'm using it informally for informal use. When you use it informally, then you don't need to use that, okay? But if you put that in informal use also, that is also fine. Yes. Continue the third rule, Rajendra.
Rule number 3. The verb tense changes in reported speech. She said, I'm watching a movie. She said that she was watching a movie.
Yeah, thank you. So in you see in the third rule, we have you this sentence is in present continuous. I am is a contraction of I am. How do you make I'm? I'm is a combination of two words. I am. So we have what are the, let's identify its parts. What is the reported verb over in the sentence? Reported verb is said.
Said,
And what are the verbs that are in this sentence? Do you see is am and watching. Watching,
watching.
because watching is showing an action. But when you change it into indirect, then you, in place of comma, you will put that. Comma is gone and you will use that. And in place of I becomes she, and am watching in the present will be turned to past tense, was. And then you see am watching, was watching. Okay, this will be together, was watching. You will change present into past tense, a movie. Okay, continue with the fourth rule.
Rule number 4. If the verb is reported speech is in the present or future, then there is no verb change in reported speech.
Very good. So now if in place of said, if we use the reported verb say, tell, or will say, will tell, or explain, in ask, if we use these as reported verb, then we don't change the, in the reported speech we don't change the tense. That means you will not change from present to past. Only if the reported verb is in the past, we make the changes over here. Okay, so now let's go on to the rules for, there are certain rules for changing for the grammar rules. I will share with you one of my, and continuing from that, there we will go ahead. I have already covered all this yesterday, so it will help you to revise, and then we can go try and do some practice questions. So sorry. So continuing from there, you see, Rajendra, can you proceed with rule number, in rule number 4, the example is just like here, this is in present tense. he says that he is playing soccer. Now, read the sentence. Um, can you read the sentence? He says, I'm playing soccer.
Okay. He says, I'm playing soccer.
Okay, what is
He
the,
says,
wait, Rajendra. What is the reported verb in the sentence?
says,
Very good. It says in the present or past. This is a reported verb, and
present.
it is in present. So what did I tell you? What is the rule there? That if the verb is in present or future, there is no change in the reported speech. Which is your reported speech? This is your reported speech. So uh, you will not change this into past tense. So let's go now. Read the answer. He says,
He says that he is playing soccer.
excellent. So he says, in place of comma, you use that, and in place of I, you used he, and in place of am is in the present tense because he is a singular. So we will use is, but we will not use was. Why? Because this is present. If it was said, then it will change. He said, he, I am playing soccer, then the sentence will become, supposing this reported verb was he said. I'll show you how you will answer that. You will answer, he said, he said that he was playing soccer. Now, see the difference between both the answers and then compare. So you saw that when the reported verb was he said, then your indirect speech changes. He said that he was playing soccer. Now what, and when your reported verb is in the present tense, he says. So what will be your answer? He says that he
Says that
is
he
playing soccer.
is
Okay, soccer. So
soccer.
what are the differences? Can you identify the differences? That here the reported verb, here the reported verb is past. Here the reported verb is present. Then second thing is, in place of I, obviously this will remain same. Same. That will be in place of comma. It will be replaced by comma. Was playing. Now this is the important part. Was playing and is playing. This is the difference. If it is in present, we don't change the tense of the sentence. We don't make it from present to past. We don't back shift. Okay, that's the way. But if it is in the past, we back shift. Back shift means we make it into past tense, from present to past tense. So now continue with rule number 5.
Rule number 5. Change in pronoun of the reported speech.
Yeah.
John said, I eat apples.
Right.
John said that he ate apples.
Sorry. Okay. Now, so you'll notice that change in pronoun of the reported speech. I becomes he. That's a change. Okay. Now, the 6th rule.
Rule number 6. If there is a time or place given in the reported speech, it will change in indirect speech. She said, I'm buying a laptop today. She said that she was buying a laptop that day.
The time expression is today, so you will change it to that day. Excellent. Thank you. Now, Now we'll do a couple of exercises, and but before that, I would like to share with you that how we will change the rules, how certain rules will change. So a quick recap which we did yesterday: direct to indirect, here, there, today, that day, this morning, that morning, yesterday, the day before, tomorrow, the next day, next month, the following month, and now and then. Now, ago, before, does, go, and last night, the night before, this, that, these, those, hither, thither, hence, thence, come, and go. Now, let's revise the pronouns. Here is a chart. You can see over here. I already explained all this yesterday. That yes. So, how the pronouns will change. Now, let's go to the tense. Now, tense we will go step by step because there are so many tenses. So you cannot do all the tenses together. So today we are only going to change simple present tense to simple past. Rules for simple present tense to simple past. Yes, this is very important. Uh, Direct speech, we use simple present tense first form of verb. That means V1. For example, take is V1, like is V1, help is V1, think is V1, verb form 1. Simple past tense, V2, past tense, past form of the verb, V2, like think, thought, take, took, sleep, slept, eat, ate. Now, we use simple past tense, second form of verb. Example, now these are the examples. Can I ask Karen to read this?
Okay. She said, example, she said, I live in Delhi.
Now it's
She said
that she
lived
in Delhi.
in
Yes.
Delhi.
Continue.
Lived in Delhi. He said, I live in Delhi. He said that he lived in Delhi.
Okay. So
I said, I live in Delhi. I said, I live in Delhi.
okay. So here, these are all these sentences are in simple present tense, and they have been changed into indirect speech in simple past tense. Now, what we have used is we have used the different pronouns: she, I, he, I, I, I. See how it changes. She will remain same over here, and this I will change to she. He said, because that's the reported verb, that doesn't change. This I changes to he. And in this one, this I remains I. Now, the verb has been changed from present to past. So, let's take the verbs. Live, lived. The verbs have been changed to past while making. So this is how you transform a simple present tense into past tense. You need to back shift. She said, I live in Delhi. She said that she lived in Delhi. He said, I live in Delhi. He said that he lived in Delhi. Now, similarly, you will see the quotation marks are gone, speech marks are gone, and in place of comma, we put that. Okay. Now, I'll move ahead and do a couple of examples. And we'll share some exercises with you so that you know. We will only do today simple present tense. Okay. So let me share with you.
Ma'am,
Yes.
can I go to the bathroom?
Yes. Yes, please. Okay. So let's try this sentence. Okay. Come on, Valerie, change now. Valerie, first sentence. Now, try.
I live in New York, she said.
Okay. No, no, the answer is, put it over here.
She lived in New
She said,
York.
she said, where is the that gone? Please try to use with that. She said
Oh, she said that she lived in
that
New York.
she lived in New York. Well done. Next one, Valerie.
It's Panchasila, miss.
Okay. Let me see the time. Okay. Give me a minute to finish this, and then you will join. No, you have to wait. Okay. Yes, that she lived in New York. He wrote. He works in a bank. Rajendra. Number 2.
She told me that he worked in a bank.
Work past tense in a bank.
Bank.
Excellent. Now, thank you for. Now, this is how you will convert from simple present tense to simple past tense. Thank you, guys. And I guess with practice and usage, you will be able to do much better. Thank you. Have a good day and see you back in my next class. That will be after lunch. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.